Good morning, y'all. I am here on a Friday morning, September 3rd, 2021. Happy Labor Day weekend to you all. Just got to get through Friday first. As stated in my last video, I'm going to do one of the NFL conferences I'm going to tackle first. Get it? Tackle. Correct myself up. I'm going to tackle the AFC today. And then on Monday morning, I will hit the NFC. So I'm going to go through the divisions. Not going to do what the records are going to be or whatever. I'm just going to kind of give some commentary on where I see the division going. In fact, I'm not even going to say, who I think the wild card teams are going to be. It's just foolish to do that. And I'll let everybody else get that stuff done. But I'll tell you who I think is going to contend for it. There are some, out of four divisions, there's more strength in some places than others. I mean, the AFC Central, the AFC North, the South, just think of baseball for a second, and the West are pretty good. I'd say the West and the South, no, not the South, West and the North are the class. South and the East are going to be fairly uneven, so from what I was seeing. So let's dive into it. I need this morning. Still no freaking Baileys. Anyway. Let's start with the AFC East. It's not a big stretch, and it's probably not very, what's the right word? Controversial to say the Bills Mafia is gonna take this division. It's a better division than people think. It's going to be more balanced. But the Bills are the class of the Eastern Division, I think. I think the Bills take it. Now the Patriots, I think, will be second. They got them some weapons. They really overhauled the roster quite a bit in both the draft and in free agency. Funny that they couldn't do that for Tom Brady. Mac Jones looks like he's legit, but he is a rookie. And they will probably by mid-season start the game plan for him just a little bit better. So we'll see what he can do. But it's hard to say, hey, rookie, make the playoffs. I think he'll surprise people, and they do have enough weapons that I think they could be second in the East. Dolphins, I'm going to pick for third. That D's really good. But Tua, he tends to disappear sometimes. He's undersized. He is accurate. He's accurate. Do they have the playmakers? Gesicki's pretty good at the tight end spot. Are they good enough? Not so sure. They usually struggle in 3 or 4 games per year the last couple of years where they probably should win, but they either barely pull it out or they lose. They got to learn to win there. And I think the Patriots and the Bills are better than them. So that's going to stunt their record quite a bit. The Jets are going to be a lot better than people think. I still have them last because this is a deep division. Wilson is legit. He's good. He's going to be really good. I think they will contend in 22. I think next year will be a year where the Jets are pretty relevant again. But they're not going to be a doormat this year. I think they're going to be better. I think the Dolphins will be closer to the playoffs. Even though they're third, I think they're going to be a wild card possibility. There's a few of them across all these divisions. Jets really aren't going to be in that conversation. They're probably going to be in the 7-10 or 6-11, something of that nature. But they're going to lose some games they shouldn't lose, or lose some games that they could have won. Let's put it that way. But they're going to learn how to win there in the land of Snoopy, MetLife Stadium. Get it? Crack myself up. Next division. I'm going to go with the AFC North. I was a Ravens fan from the time that they went to Baltimore. Or they went from Cleveland to Baltimore. Excuse me. But I can't pick them this year. You're going to see regression. Mainly because J.K. Dobbins going down for the season is going to make a big difference. I would have picked them for the division had Dobbins not gone down. And they've decided to stand pat with what they have. So what they basically told the league to do is go ahead and game plan for our quarterback. We're not going to go out and get a really good running back, even though we've got the rosters. I mean, we've got the cap room to do it. We'll just go ahead and roll the dice with what we got. Not sure if that's what you want to do when the Browns are coming on. So I'm going to take the Browns in this division. It's going to be a dogfight. Do you think they have enough to get past the Ravens, especially with the way that pass rush and that defense is playing, and then Baker's starting to figure it out. A more mild, mellow version of him, appeared in the last year or two, and I think he's going to make that progression. I think the Browns are going to win this division. God, it sounds weird. Ravens second, like I said. Third, Steelers. Big Ben. He's getting to be about as old as Big Ben the Clock in England. One of these years he's going to show up, he's going to be totally gray. And he's looking like it. I mean, he's good, but he's nowhere near what he used to be, and I don't think he can drag this team far enough in a division that's pretty good. So I think they're a third place team, quite frankly, with a decent defense, good defense. So is the Browns. I think they contend for a wild card, actually. But I don't see them being in the conversation to win the division. The Bengals, it really hurt when Joe Burrow got hurt. But he gets a full year this year. It's going to really set them up for springboard for a 2022 run into contention. I think they could sniff near the playoff. I mean, not playoffs, not near 500. Let's say 6 or 7 wins is possible for them in a very tough division. Very tough division. So let's see them in last. The AFC South is another one. So we're halfway home. We've done the East, we've done the North, and now we're going to do the South. Class of the division is in Tennessee. Julio Jones moving to Tennessee. Tannehill is pretty, I'd say, underrated, quite frankly. He's a pretty good quarterback. He's no Troy Aikman. You'll see why I say that in a second. But they are starting to remind me of the big three that the Dallas Cowboys had in the 1990s. And that's not to be sacrilegious towards them. But Derrick Henry is a pretty good running back. He compares quite favorably to Emmitt Smith. He's got a lot of work to do to get into those shoes. He's a damn good running back. And playmaker for Dallas, Julio Jones is a nice double gunger for him as well. I guess of the three, it's the quarterback, Tannehill, that's not quite Aikman. But it reminds me of them. They're like the big three light, let's say. So I'm going to go with the Titans. They got enough defense, but that offense is going to be scary. Very scary. And Derrick Henry's working like a fiend. He's already hard to bring down. A little bit of Earl Campbell in that guy. You're going to take the Colts as the second place team. Wentz is already back. He's working with a guy where he originally had his success. That D is tough, but it is Carson Wentz. So you just don't know if he's going to stay healthy, stay upright. That's an issue. And the Titans are that good. I think the Colts are going to be right there for a wild card, very very possibly. I'm going to take the Jags for third. This might surprise some people. Trevor Lawrence is legit. You saw what he could do that last preseason game. This is a major project. This is more an indictment on how bad the Texans are. But I think the Jags winning 4 or 5 games could get them third. I think they might win 5. The Texans, massage artist really hasn't helped them. The quarterback, formerly known as their quarterback, he's left the cupboard very bare. They're in deep trouble there in Texas. They've got a guy who knows what he's doing about building teams. And coming from the Patriot way, they get themselves a quarterback. They get themselves a couple of drafts. They build this thing back up. They're doing it the right way. The Texans are going to be okay. Not this year. This year they're going to be awful. I think the Jags are going to be over them. I think the Texans might win 3 or 4 games. You might see the Jags win 5. It's going to be a dogfight to see who's in the toilet. In fact, when they play, their second game, they might even call it the toilet bowl because it's going to be for all the marbles. AFC West. This is going to be a tight division. I'm going to say it right now, loud and proud. This team has the makings of a top 10 offense, which it had last year, and a top 10 defense, which it didn't have last year. They brought in a really good defensive coordinator. The general chemistry is really good. The new defensive line, you got guys like McCoy and Ngakoue, Max Crosby. And they've got people playing the proper schemes. They're not out of position. You got guys that are good at slot or in the slot. You got guys that are good out in space or out in space. This team's going to be very, very good. And it's the Vegas Raiders. Let the haterade begin. I don't care. Combination of how good this Raiders team is going to be from a roster construction standpoint, but also from that chemistry standpoint, that defense improving standpoint. The combination of all that and the fact that the Chiefs, my number 2 team here, there's a blueprint out there from the Super Bowl. And they can talk a big game all they want. They got a genius head coach. But there's a book out there on how to stop Mahomes. And a very good defense is gonna be able to do it. So I actually think the Chiefs are going to be second. I think they'll get a wild card for sure. I can't see them being out of the playoffs. They're a damn good team. I think it'll be decided very late in the season. Could go down to the final weekend. Just never know. But I see this team. I see the Raiders taking this division because of what Gus Bradley's going to bring and because of the roster the accelerated roster revamp that they've done this offseason, along with getting some of these guys back from injuries, getting some of these guys after last year, getting them in the building instead of on Zoom, to make a big difference. So Raiders 1, Chiefs 2. Third, I'm going to have the Broncos. This was a tough one for me. Teddy Bridgewater is capable enough. This offense is going to sputter. I don't see this offense doing much. They may do just enough to win a few games. Von Miller is a man possessed at this point. It looks like he's got a second berth, a second wind out there. I think Von Miller is going to make a big difference in that defensive scheme. I think they're going to defensively be very good. I just don't see the offense being there. I really don't. They could, but they are a candidate to surprise. They could jump up and maybe win 2 or 3 games more than I'm expecting. But with the Raiders and the Chiefs above them, I just don't see a lot of headspace for them. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos. The Chargers. I had a hard time with this one because I thought maybe third for the Chargers. Herbert is honestly special. He's going to be very special. They need some more on the defense. It's going to take them some time. And they could use some more skill position help. But they're coming. They're another candidate to make some noise. So this is a division where all 4 teams could be over 500 because they could just be beating the living daylights out of the rest of the conference outside of the division. And so all of them would be at 11 wins max. But they're beating each other up a little bit. Maybe 12 wins max, let's say, or 13. But being able to have a 1-4 in this division, that's quite formidable. It just depends. What happens with the Chargers D, what happens with the Broncos O. And but I see the Raiders and Chiefs being miles ahead of them at this point. So see where that goes. So to recap very quickly, I got the Bills in the East, Browns in the North, Titans in the South, the Raiders in the West. That's not a homer pick. It's not. And then maybe, just maybe, instead of people beating up the front office in Las Vegas, maybe Mike Mayock gets GM of the year when this is done. And there's a whole lot of people going to be eating some crow. Injury, as long as the injuries stay minimal, this is a team that's going to shut some people up. And to turn this thing around in 3 years, that ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. And they've done it the right way. So, good stuff. So I wish you a great Labor Day weekend. I will be back before this Labor Day weekend is concluded. I will be back on Monday to look at the NFC. And feel free to comment down underneath about where I might have gotten it wrong, where I might have gotten it right. We'll just talk about Willis or whatever. Okay? I'd love to hear it. All right? Obligatory close to my fiasco of a video today is that I need you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the ringy dingy, say all, and then spread the video far and wide, because sharing is caring, and I need a whole lot of that caring. And I will talk to you later. Peace out, me homies. See ya.